Hi, good morning. Good morning. Nasa Washington DC kami. Pang second time na namin ito dito sa Washington DC. And nakapunta kami dito a few years ago. So ngayon nandito kami uli. And may mga things na we don't want to do while in Washington DC.
And then on the other side is the Department of Justice. And that's basically where they do all the trials that the FBI investigates. When we get to the Capitol, you'll be able to see the front of the Capitol is covered in scaffold. And that's it's the National Archives building. Here's where to keep the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and a lot of other important documents from the founding of the U.S. And the big cities have that, like a planned evacuation route. So now you can see the National Gallery of Art on your right. And that was Andrew Mellon's, most of it was his personal collection, so this big fountain in the middle of the street was... And that's because Canada has special ties with the United States. I don't know if you can see it, there's a terrace on the top with a blue rooster. That used to be in Piccadilly Circus.
Welcome to Washington DC. Siyempre ito ang you don't wanna miss coming to this place. So this is one of those things we don't want to miss, coming to Washington DC. The last time we came here, hindi namin to napuntahan kasi inaayos daw. Anyway, it's still being repaired. Hindi pwede pumasok dito sa
As soon as we pass the light is the Department of Education, and in front of the Department of Education they built a memorial to General Dwight D. Eisenhower. It's like a stone tower, and because they had threats of bombs against the Department of Education, they had to put up a bomb shield, but they needed an excuse for the bomb shield, so they said it's a memorial to Eisenhower. There's something called calamine lotion. Like if you get bit by a mosquito, it's like a pink lotion you put on yourself. That's what he made a lot of money from too. This was always the largest department of the U.S. government because the United States used to have very large agriculture. That's part of its economy. And then the brick building in front of us, that's the original Department of Agriculture. It's now the Department of Forestry. That one also has asbestos, and that one's also empty.
And this is also one of those things we don't wanna miss. Ayan. This time, malapitan na yung namin, picture. Last time, malayo. where the obelisk is. Ito na naman ang linya sa toilet. Haba na naman as usual.
You look all the way across it, you can see the Jefferson Memorial. And then the trees that are in the way, these are all the cherry trees, Japanese cherry trees. They have a cherry tree festival for about a week in the spring when they all flower white flowers. So everything to the left, those are all the cherry trees.
Potomac River.
And they were originally a gift from the Emperor of Japan in 1912, but all the trees died, and then the government secretly replaced them with trees from the United States. Yeah, so this one is 2,200 photos that are taken from soldiers from the Korean War, and that's like soldiers walking in right. And there's going to be a wall of the names of the soldiers that fought in the Korean War. It's got 36,000 American names and 6,000 Korean names. The Korean soldiers that were fighting in the U.S. Years old.
Wow, they allowed 15-year-old guys.
Students from high school, so some of them lied about their age so they could go with their friends.
Oh, that's the reason why.
MIA flag, because a lot of them were missing the soldiers that went to Vietnam. Like they never came back, but they never identified if they died or what happened to them.
The list started with John H. Anderson Jr. And then the names kept growing and growing and growing. Vietnam Memorial.
They add a new name to the wall. They try to find like where they can fit it closest to the time they died.
I can't even like Anderson.
On this side, this is the there's some new names they added. So if you look at this one, Richard Hunt, it's more white. It's because that one was added like within the past few years. And then there's another one like this one too. You can see the names are a little bit now. It's people that died later, but it's because of wounds caused in the Vietnam War. Like some of them were Agent Orange, where they were dropping the chemical and they got cancer.
And this is one of those things we don't want to do in Washington, D.C. That is to miss the Lincoln Memorial.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. All men are created equal.
There's the reflection of the obelisk.
फ्रेम बाहर आकर फिर फोटो उठाया लाड़ जाती है
Ito pa yung isa sa mga we don't wanna do. See, we don't wanna miss the White House. Ayan. This is the White House. And kita doon yung Washington Memorial.
So he got, right after the Civil War, he got elected to president. He announced that he was going to free the slaves, and then a week later he got assassinated. They shot him in the head. He was watching a theater in a place called Ford's Theater. He was watching a play, and they shot him in the back of the head, and then they took him to the house across the street, and next morning. So in a little bit you're going to see a brick house on the right side. That'll be the house that, it's the short house. That'll be the house that they took him to die, and on the left side we're going to pass the theater. I'll show you both of them. It's on the next block though. Was assassinated, and on the right side of the street you're gonna pass a brick house made of like black brick,
Ford Theater.
and then the brick house right after it, that's where they took him to die. The one with the green shutters. So this on the left side is the theater where they shot him, and on the right side is where he died. And he was a very Lincoln was a very strong man, so he survived after being shot in the head. He survived all night until the next morning. He was an undefeated wrestler. He wrestled for 10 years and he won 300 matches, only lost once.